Welcome into this edition of Great City Attractions. In this offering, we visit the capital of England, a place of monarchy, empire, and industry. These are the great city attractions of London. Buckingham Palace. The home of monarchy and a royal residence, Buckingham Palace is one of the most recognisable attractions in the city of London. Originally a townhouse, Queen Victoria was the first British monarch to call Buckingham Palace home. Numerous additions have taken place throughout the last 2 centuries in particular, with the palace now containing over 700 rooms. The changing of the guard at the palace continues to be a popular sight with tourists. The London Eye. Otherwise known as the Millennium Wheel, the London Eye is one of the most popular tourist attractions in London, attracting over 3 million visitors each year. Officially opening in March of 2000, the observation wheel stands some 135 metres tall, with its 32 passenger pods or capsules able to carry 25 people each. The Tower of London. Sent to the Tower. The history of the Tower of London dates back to the Norman Conquest, with William the Conqueror presiding over the building of the White Tower in 1078. Expansions of the tower took place during the reigns of both Richard I, the Lionheart, and Edward I, Longshanks. The staff of the tower includes a Raven Master who keeps 6 of the birds on site. The British Museum. First opened in 1759, the British Museum attracted over 4 million visitors in 2022. Among the artefacts on display here are the famed Rosetta Stone, which is part of a celebrated collection of Egyptian pieces, the Sutton Hoo treasure of Anglo-Saxon origins, and artefacts from the mausoleum of Halicarnassus. Big Ben. Standing sentry-like over the River Thames is the Great Clock of Westminster. The clock was completed in 1859. It was the biggest of its kind in the world at the time. The Great Clock suffered damage during World War II. A recent renovation of the tower, started in 2017, cost approximately £80 million. Kew Gardens. Some 27,000 living collections are thought to make their homes at Kew Gardens. This World Heritage Site opened in the 1750s and remains tremendously popular. Garden highlights include the Palm House, Great Pagoda, and the famous Water Lily House. The victories of the 7 Years' War are celebrated with a number of temples within the garden grounds. If you're enjoying this video, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel below. Hyde Park. The largest royal park in London, Hyde Park was established by King Henry VIII. It opened to the public in the middle of the 1630s. The history of the park includes duels between the nobility of the day and was the setting for the Great Exhibition of 1851. Speaker's Corner, Wellington Arch, and a memorial to the 2005 London bombing victims are located here. Hyde Park has been the venue for concerts by Pink Floyd and Queen. Westminster Abbey. An Anglican church covered in a history of royal burials, weddings, and coronations. The present Gothic architecture was completed in the late 1200s. Mary I, Mary Queen of Scots, and Elizabeth I are all buried here. The Tomb of the Unknown Warrior, which can be seen inside the Great West Door, was the first tribute of its type. The Natural History Museum. An institution in London from its inception in 1881, the Natural History Museum covers tens of millions of items over 5 main collections. Among the exhibits of interest here are the works and findings of Charles Darwin, who famously published his On the Origin of Species work in 1859. The first iguanodon teeth ever discovered can be seen here, along with the most complete fossil skeleton of a Stegosaurus. Tate Modern. If you combine an old power station with modern and contemporary art in London, then there's a good chance you're standing inside Tate Modern. Tate Modern was opened in 2000 by Queen Elizabeth II. Works from Pablo Picasso and Claude Monet can be seen as part of permanent collections. Tower Bridge. Spanning over the width of the River Thames, Tower Bridge was completed in 1894 after 8 years of construction works. George D. Stephenson insisted on the now iconic Victorian Gothic design. The suspension bridge was the target of mass air raid attacks during the Second World War and suffered a direct hit in 1941. River traffic still flows through under the bridge year-round. That concludes this edition of Great City Attractions. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. What are your favourite places in London? Comment below.